welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, I am glad to have you here. So if you can tell by the title, it is Mother's Day. It is Mother's Day weekend. So I just felt like, what other time is the best time than this weekend to sit down and give y'all a little bit of me, a little bit of my background, and tell y'all my mommy story. Like, how did I become a mother? How am I able to celebrate being a mother? Like, how did I get here? So that's what this video is about to be about. I'm gonna start from beginning to end. I'm gonna try to make it short, real cute, nothing too crazy, but give y'all the juice of how I became a mother to a beautiful baby boy. This piece is gonna drive me crazy, but let's start with, how old was I when I became a mother? So wait, before I get it confused. Okay, I was 26 when I got pregnant, but I was 27 by the time I became an actual mother. My birthday is in September. I'm a Virgo, yes. My birthday was in September, and by the time he got into this world, I was 27. So yeah, I felt like that was a good age. Like, not too old, not too young. Could I have waited? You know, you can never plan a child. You can never plan. You never could be ready. I mean, it is what it is. But I guess that's a segue into the next question. Was he planned? And I'm going to keep it old school. I'm going to keep it real. My son was planned because it was no precautions. Nothing was done to be prevented. So yeah, like the old head said, you ain't do nothing to stop it. You wasn't on nothing. You was being fast. I was being fast. No, I was being grown. I was grown, but there was nothing being done to stop it. So I just say my son was 100% planned. Like, I knew I was about to be pregnant. You know, I knew I was about to be pregnant. So, hey, yeah, that's T. I think my son was planned. I'm going to just keep it real. When people be like, no, he wasn't planned. I didn't know. I was so surprised. I wasn't doing nothing to stop being pregnant. You know, not like, oh, get me pregnant, but it's just like being honest and taking responsibility that, hey, you was not taking any precautions, doing anything to prevent pregnancy. So yes, you were planning to get pregnant, period. So that's how I feel about it. That's what the old heads say. So yeah, my baby was not a mistake, and I knew he was coming because I remember that day like it was yesterday. But yes, that is that second question. My son was planned, period. I'm gonna just say that. Why giving me some courage? How did I know I was pregnant? Well, going back to the last question, nothing was being prevented. So, you know, when you do grown things and things happen, you know pregnancy could be a result of that. So how did I know? I was clocking what every woman clocks. Like, my cycle, I was clocking it, and every woman knows when they're pregnant. I feel like I knew. I felt it in my body. I know my body. I felt it. I was in Jamaica living my best life. I felt guilty drinking. And I felt like I felt guilty drinking because it's like, girl, you know. But I didn't know for, like, officially, I did not know I was pregnant. But it was my first time being pregnant. So I really was going off of what I heard about pregnancy symptoms, and it wasn't really setting in there like, yo, you might be pregnant. So, and I don't even know if I was pregnant in Jamaica. I went on a trip to Jamaica or after, but I knew what had been going on. So yeah, I knew I was pregnant because I was feeling what you feel. Like, mamas, you know what you feel. And for the women that don't have kids, just listen to what you've heard about. You just feel it. You just know that you are pregnant. You feel different. I was feeling different. My stomach, cramps, tired. I just felt like I was pregnant. And lo and behold, I was. And it's so funny how I found out. I found out with my best friend. Like, I was scared. My best friend didn't think she was pregnant, but she took a pregnancy test the same day as me. And I think it was negative. Both of our pregnancy tests was negative. And then I was just like, nah, it was too soon. Like, no, I know I am pregnant, so it was too soon. So I'm gonna take another test. And I took it like a Saturday. I think we met on Taco Tuesday, and then I took a second pregnancy test on Saturday. And on the toilet, called my best friends on three-way, and I'm like, yo, it couldn't have appeared quick enough that girl, whatever the lines was there. So yeah, I remember, what month was that? July? Yeah, July is when I found out I was pregnant. Yeah, July. Hey, don't be calculating, but just know it was July, and I just knew I was pregnant, and I knew I needed to get a pregnancy test and stop all the drinking before mess my kid up. Like, I was like, no, let me just stop being in denial and being scary and take the test and stop doing what I was doing. And yeah, that's how I found out I was pregnant. I knew it, I felt it, and I did what I had to do to find out, and I found out I was pregnant. The next question is, what gender did I want? What gender did I want? Oh, my arm looking like, girl, Big Mama cooking that good old fried chicken. Ooh, please, excuse me. Anyways, what gender did I want? Like all girls, well, most girls, I want a girl. Oh my God, I want a girl. Then most of the pregnancy, I was like, I want a boy, or I knew it was a boy. I just felt like I knew it was a boy. So I was like, I want my boy. And I think I bought boy clothes. Like, I bought a little boy outfit because I felt like I knew it was a boy. But I was like half and half. Like, I wanted to be a girl. Like, all my life, I thought I would want a girl. And then most of my pregnancy, I wanted a boy and thought it was a boy. And then towards my gender reveal, I had a gender reveal. I was like, oh my God, I think I want a girl. Wait. What is gonna happen? What's this? I had a cake gender reveal. It was a surprise gender reveal from his father. Gave me a gender reveal. Yeah. So I had a surprise gender reveal. It was my birthday. So I probably was like 4 months. I wanted to know. I was thirsty. I wanted to know the gender, and I was barely showing. I was one of those. I wanted to know what I was having so I can shop immediately. But he threw me a surprise gender reveal, and it was a cake. And of course you cut the cake and it tells you the gender. But right before then, I was girl. Like, whole pregnancy, I wanted a boy. Then right before, I wanted a girl. And then when I found out it was a boy, I was like, I knew it. And I was like, I'm a boy mom. It's over. It doesn't matter. Nothing else does not matter. I got my boy. Is how was my pregnancy? Because pregnancy is nothing to play with. It was nothing to play with. But no, for real, honestly, I guess they say that when you have a boy, pregnancy is kind of chill. And you glowing and you still got your beauty, and then the girls are supposed to take away your beauty and then they give you hell. But that's what it was. My boy was chill. I wasn't too sick. Like, I never threw up during my pregnancy. Like, the beginning of my pregnancy, when you throwing up, you on the toilet. I did have nausea, but I never actually threw up, which is like 10 times more annoying. Like, I'd rather just throw up. Like, I don't want to feel sick and I'm like, can't throw up. Like, I was sticking my finger down my throat. Like, I need to throw up, but I don't think I ever threw up. Stuck my finger down my throat, trying to throw up, but I didn't throw up. I just felt sick. And I mean, I don't think I swole for real. Regular, it was real chill. Probably constipation, sorry, all that good stuff. But for most of my pregnancy, I was not miserable. I wasn't miserable until the end, when you're like, okay, I'm over being pregnant. But the beginning, it wasn't that bad. I didn't miss that many days of work. I don't think I ever called out of work. Yes, to me, that's superpower I'll be talking about. Like, I worked from the beginning to the end of my pregnancy. Like, I don't think, I don't know. I don't remember. Like, honestly, I don't remember really calling out because I was sick. At the beginning of my pregnancy, I worked a job that is like, I didn't have to get up early in the morning to go to work. I went to work in the evening. So maybe that's why it's like I didn't have to call out, because if I had to call out, if I had to work during the morning time, I probably would have called out. But my schedule at the beginning of my pregnancy helped me not to call out because I didn't have to get up early in the morning to go. And then towards the end of my pregnancy, I was over that morning sickness situation. Like, I didn't have to deal with that, but I had a different job by the time I got towards the end of my pregnancy, and that was morning. So it was just waiting to have my baby. But I would say the worst part about my pregnancy was getting gestational diabetes. Yes, I got gestational diabetes. I didn't beat myself up a lot, but I was confused because I'm like, my little bitty self, when I hear diabetes, I just feel like, how my little bitty self got gestational diabetes? Like, what? But it don't matter how small you are. It don't matter about none of that. They try to say, you can't prevent it, you know, da, 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 da. I wasn't trying to hear that. I just felt like I was the most horrible mother in the world. I was like, I'm not even a mama yet. He ain't even here yet. And I got my baby in there struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had mommy guilt before I became an actual mom. Like, it starts when you become a mom because you are protecting your child while they're inside of you. So I just felt horrible that, like, I got gestational diabetes and the risk that could come about with my child. Like, all of the symptoms or whatever, or outcomes that could result from having gestational diabetes was like really bothering me. I had to poke my finger, and I had a meal plan, and it was a lot. And it's just so crazy because I don't think I took that test until 6 months. I took that test really late, and I feel like you should take that test a little earlier. I don't know. But I had gestational diabetes. That's a story for another time. But I think that's the worst part of my pregnancy was getting gestational diabetes and have to prick myself and watch what I eat. And I blame it on that new job of mine. Like, my job bought so much junk, like sweets. It was around the holidays too. Like I said, like, by the time I was in September, 4 months, the rest of my pregnancy, they had Thanksgiving. People were bringing stuff, cakes, food. They was just feeding us. Like, they just bought us so much stuff around the holidays. And I always loved food. I always been itty bitty and was not afraid to eat. So I was taking it all in, and I was eating everything. And then I was like, oh, that's probably how I got here. That's how I got here. But I don't even think I knew about gestational diabetes until I got it. You know, I don't think I knew until I got it. But that was the worst part of my pregnancy. Before I get wrapped up in that could be another conversation for another time. And I pray I never get it again, but it's a high chance because I had it in my first pregnancy. If I have another baby, I could have gestational diabetes. But I did what I had to do because it was a wake-up call. Like, I followed my meal plan, pricked my little finger and all of that, and did what I had to do to make sure my child was not about to experience anything after I gave birth and on. But that was a big major part of the struggle of my pregnancy. And the other part was trying not to get depressed. I don't know, I said it before in my probably first video. If you ain't watched it yet, watch it. I am not from here, not from Georgia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm not from here. So I don't have a lot of family here. I have a brother, sister-in-law, whatever, and I have 2 friends that I knew from before that here. But other than that, I don't have a lot of friends. So the biggest part was being alone, like just being here, not alone because I was in a whole entire relationship. I had a lot of support from him. I didn't have to want to do anything hand and foot. He took care of me. But it's just something about having my mother here, my friends here, like the days that I just wanted to just be around love, I didn't have that. So that was a struggle about in my pregnancy, like being alone, somebody rubbing on my belly and just babying me through my pregnancy. It was just really lonely. But I think that's the major hardest part, is just not trying to get depressed and sad because I was already dealing with emotions. That part of pregnancy is another one. I thought I was okay during pregnancy. I feel like I wasn't like but clearly I was but I didn't think I was that emotional, but clearly I was emotional because that being away from my family and just being hard on myself every chance of the way, I just being hard on myself from gestational and just I just didn't know pregnancy would give me mommy guilt, you know, and I didn't know I was going to be so reliant on meeting my family, because I got pregnant early on when I first moved here. Like, I was here for like only a year. And then, so I was already homesick. Like, every other month I was like, I was driving home. Like, I wanted to go home. I tried not to go home, but I was trying to go home. But then I'm pregnant. I can't take a flight like I want to. Can't do a long drive like I want to, or whatever. So I think I went home once for a little baby shower. But other than that, I really just needed that love. But that's the worst part of pregnancy. So I talked about morning sickness, diabetes, and just being lonely. But for the most part, I didn't have a horrible pregnancy. Like, I could just be honest that I'm blessed that I didn't have all of the symptoms and stories that I hear that I was afraid of, because I used to watch all the pregnant girls. When I was pregnant, every vlogger, every woman on internet like that was pregnant, we were pregnant together, and I was watching it all. Or like people that just had babies before me, I was watching all of it because I just needed to know. I was like the first, I was the first out of all my friends for real to have a child. So, my close friends for real to have a child. So I didn't know firsthand what I would experience. So I went through looking at YouTube and watching all of this stuff. So if you are watching and you're about to have a baby or whatever, I hope I'm not scaring you, but by the end of this video, you'll know that babies are a blessing. You are about to have a blessing, and hopefully I'm not scaring you, but I'm helping you to know that this is some things that you may experience, but every pregnancy is different. So don't be scared. You're gonna be a great mom. But these videos like this help me, like just knowing what to prepare for. What may happen, what I might experience, but every pregnancy is different. So don't take what I'm saying too hard. So yeah. And it's a big part too, like the birth story right here, my birth story, honey, baby. Birth ain't no joke, okay? I was scared the whole pregnancy. I feel like I might have taken birth lightly. Like, I don't feel like I was OD scared about giving birth, but when the day came, I was like, oh, it's about to go down. I remember that day like it was yesterday. That night before I was about to give birth. So the question I'm supposed to be answering is, Lord, ooh. I don't know if y'all seen that, but baby, I got some stuff to work on. So get ready for the gym videos, because baby. Anyways, let's get back to it. The question I'm supposed to be answering is, how early was I from my due date, or how late was I from my due date? I was 1 week, literally 1 week, to be exact. I was supposed to get, my due date was Friday, March 8th was my due date. So March 1st is when I actually gave birth. So the night before, it was like real calm. Like, it was real calm. His dad came home, had a bad day at work, and he just wanted to cuddle for some reason. Like, he just was like, I had a bad day, and he just rubbed on my belly all night and just was like, I had a bad day. So I feel like he brought my son out. Like, my son was like, all right, my daddy need me. Let me come on out. Like, I legit feel that way, because it was just like, I was at home. I went to work. I was planning to go to work that Friday, because March 1st was the Friday. So I was planning to go to work like nothing, because I literally worked up until I gave birth. So that Thursday night, he came home in his feelings, rubbing my belly, and I feel like that would bring on a pregnancy. I think I went to sleep by 11, 12 o'clock. I probably went to sleep 10, 11, 12, yeah, around that time. And then I probably wasn't sleeping for 2 hours. And then I woke up, them cramps. I started feeling them cramps. But it's like, before, like, contractions, what are they called? Braxton Hicks or whatever. I was feeling that, towards the end of my pregnancy, but these were different. These contractions, or I didn't know what was at the time, it just felt like cramps. It felt like menstrual cramps to me, and it hurt. And I was like, no, this is another level. This ain't no Braxton Hicks. This is something different. So I got out the bed, went in the living room, and I'm just like, oh my God. And Murder, She Wrote. It took off from there. Literally had went to sleep 2 hours, woke up, cramps was just like this. Boom! Like, it's time. Woke his dad up, started making phone calls. And when I'm telling you I was good, and then I got worse real quick. We called the doctor. The doctor was like, the mucus plug came out. He was like, no mucus plug came out. And this is me time I'm about to go to the bathroom. While I'm in the bathroom, his dad in the bathroom with me, we was like, no mucus plug. Then boom, the mucus plug came out. Then boom, his dad had to tell me to get out the way, off the toilet, so he can throw up. He's gonna kill me. I laugh to this day. I remind him to this day because his dad is this big man. And the job he does, you would not think that seeing or experiencing pregnancy or seeing that, you wouldn't think that. You feel like he'd be used to it if you knew what he do. I was like, what are you throwing up? He threw up. He was like, get out the way, I gotta use this bathroom. He threw up as soon as I said, yeah, the mucus plug came out. Because I guess it got real for him. But anyways, it's not about him. It's about me. I was going through it. Baby bag packed, get in the car. When I tell you, I was in that truck banging. I was in that truck banging on the dashboard. I was on the phone with my mom. And I don't think his dad had his glasses or something. It was early. It was like, by this time, it was like, shoot. Okay, I'm back. I had to call and get some clarity. Okay, so by this time, it was like about to be 3. Like, it was like 2:50, probably something. We're not too far from the hospital. Yeah, because I think I got to the hospital like 3 o'clock or something like that. So whole time he's like trying to find his way to the hospital because he didn't have his contacts in. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. So, and I don't think he grabbed his glasses. I'm not sure, but getting to the hospital was a risk but he had to get me to the hospital because I was going crazy in that car. So, got to the hospital. You know, when you pull up, you ain't got to park the car. You just hop out and you could do it later. Get me in the hospital. I'm at registration desk. Like, who thought I could register? I don't know why they thought I could register. His dad did what he had to do, tell him this information. And they were trying to sit me in a wheelchair. They was like, sit down in a wheelchair. I cannot. At this point that I felt like if I was to sit down, I was sitting on my child's head. Like, that's how real it was. I was ready to have this baby. And I didn't know I was ready because I was over here asking for epidural. And they was like, I don't know if you can have epidural at this point. Like, we still at the registration desk, and I'm just like thinking I'm gonna get epidural, and they was like, So they trying to sit me down. I'm like, I can't. And the nurse explained to his dad, was like, she might not be able to sit down. It may be uncomfortable for her, so she needs to stand up. So I was like, yeah, exactly. I was being a bitch. But I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, I cannot sit down. And then my water broke. Finally. I forgot all about a water break. What was supposed to break? Water broke. Finally. At the registration desk. Felt like a balloon popping. Warm water. And I was just like, am I on a show right now? Is this happening right now? I'm trying to register and my water broke. So I had sweats on in the sneakers. I was like, I cannot believe this just happened in the middle of registration that my water broke. So it was like, oh, okay, it's about to go down. So they get me to the room finally. I think I walked to the room, or I finally sit down, but I wasn't sitting all the way down. I was like sitting sideways or whatever in the chair. I don't know. But they took me to that very first room and they checked me, and then I asked about epidural that I thought I was going to get. And they was like, baby, you are complete. You completely dilated. Whatever the words they used, I don't remember. You are ready. They use like, the head is right there. You don't get an epidural. You about to push. And I was just like, what? And it was something else that was supposed to get done before I gave birth. I don't know. If y'all know what I'm talking about, let me know. But it's one thing that I don't remember the name. It's something with something, but I was supposed to get it as well before I was give birth to protect him, but I wasn't able to get any of that. They was like, "You're not getting anything." I don't know what to tell you, lady, but oh my God. But you're not getting anything. Like, you're not getting none of nothing. You about to push. You gonna give us some pushes and get this baby out of you. So I think that was like 3 o'clock. I was in that room, 3 something. I don't remember. Damn. But I do know what time he came out and I gave birth. But yeah. I feel like the pushing wasn't bad. It was the contractions. And yeah, I gave birth natural. Clearly, obviously, I gave birth natural. So I'm a superhero, even though it wasn't like, I wasn't in labor for a long time because I was asleep half the time I was in labor, clearly. Yeah, I did not know. I was in labor. Honestly, I was in labor earlier that night and I didn't know. I slept through it for the most part because for me to have the baby so quickly, it's just like, yo, you were in labor. Like, they was asking me, like, you didn't know? Like, I was like, no, I was asleep. I just woke up at 1. And it was like, what? And so yeah, it happened real quick. Like, I was in there 3 something. It was like, you're complete. You about to push. I ain't go to no Lamar's class, nothing. I was just like winging it. And that was a struggle, like knowing how to push and all of that. Oh, y'all practice, y'all, because I feel like I would have never tore like I did. Yeah, I tore. Ripped. So I had to get sewn up after I had him or whatever. That may be an era for me pushing, not knowing how to, or whatever the case may be. But if you're a man here watching this, hello. Yeah, this is what we have to go through. Yeah, we rip and tear during pregnancy. I mean, labor. So yeah, that's probably an era on my end. Struggling to push, but I got my baby out of there. He was out by 3:45 a.m. My baby was brought into the world. And I could not believe that he was there. And I feel like immediately I knew my son was not my twin. I was like, my son is not my twin. He looked just like his daddy. But then I think I cried. It just felt weird. His naked, weird, clammy body felt so crazy on me. It was just, I can't explain how that feeling felt. That, wow, this is a little person that was making my stomach look like a mountain or an alien, and was really like putting me through what I was going through. It was just so crazy to actually see him and have him laying on my chest, weird feeling, crying, just the most beautiful experience ever. But yeah, then after I gave birth, things took a turn. Ooh, baby. Let's get into that. Wait. We can't get into that part because I missed the part. Baby, why my nose was bleeding while I was pushing? I don't know. I felt like I was about to pass out. They was like, get a tissue. My nose was bleeding. I don't know what that meant. I guess I was straining. I don't know, but my nose was legit bleeding. So he was over there wiping my nose, and I'm over here literally trying to push. And I was so cold and I was so thirsty. I remember those things about during labor, that I was cold. You would think it'd be hot, but I was cold and I was thirsty, baby. So yeah, that's another thing during my birth story, is my nose was bleeding. Don't know why. Did they tell me why? I don't know, but that was weird. Tell me, comment below if that happened to y'all. Tell me y'all craziest story as far as y'all water breaking, because I feel like the water breaking in the registration area is crazy to me. That may not be crazy. Y'all might could top me, but tell me y'all story when did y'all water break? Because if I didn't move or come out that truck, like, his truck would have been messed up, period. His truck would have been, I'm sure he's glad I was out of this truck. But tell me y'all's story, y'all's crazy story below, because I felt like that was crazy about how my water broke and my nose bleeding. Tell me if y'all experienced that, heard of that before. But my nose is bleeding. I feel like that's wild to me. Like, what was my nose bleeding for? So yeah. So remember when I said that I had mommy guilt because I had gestational diabetes? Well, mommy guilt came back around right after giving birth to my son. He was still laying on me, and mommy intuition came into play because I was like, something's not right. He's not breathing right. Something's not right. He was laying on my chest doing skin to skin, and I told the doctor, like, he's breathing a little funny. And lo and behold, they was like, yeah, we're gonna take him to, in the back and figure something out. And so maybe he was born with jaundice, and because I had gestational diabetes, he struggled with coming from my body, having all that sugar and all of that. He struggled with now that he don't have that, he was weak. Like, he wasn't eating, he wouldn't breastfeed, he wouldn't eat because he was just exhausted. He was tired. Like, I'm in this body with all this sugar and all of this stuff, and I'm out of here without that supply, and I'm overworked. My heart's overworked and everything, and I'm tired and I don't want to eat. So mommy guilt came back into play when it came to gestational diabetes because he was experiencing some effects from me having it, and then he's no longer in my body with all of that sugar supply. And he didn't take that well. So he was in, the NICU for like 3 days. After, I think I gave birth to him Friday, I think he spent the night Friday night with me, and then they took him Saturday in the NICU. They put him in the where they do had the light, had the little glasses over his eyes. That was for the jaundice and all of that, but they also was making sure that I'm pumping and all that. So I give him some milk, and they were trying to, I think they had to tube feed him because he was so lazy. He was so tired that he wouldn't stay up through a bottle. Like, he was so tired that he wouldn't stay up through a bottle, and he just had to stay at the hospital. I think I was released from the hospital from that Sunday because I had some other stuff going on, but it was nothing too serious. But I released from the hospital Sunday. They gave me the option to stay another day because my baby was in the hospital. So I think I left the hospital Monday. I don't think he came home from the hospital until Thursday because of the jaundice and him not eating like he's supposed to, and his blood sugar levels or whatever. So he finally started eating from the bottle, and then he started eating from me, and then of course since he's eating, that gives him more energy to go home. So, and he was born 6 pounds 9 ounces. I thought my baby was gonna be big because his dad was born 11 pounds, and then also the gestational diabetes, I thought he would be bigger, would cause him to be bigger. But I knew before I gave birth that he wasn't gonna be that big, but that could have been an option if I didn't take care of myself during this. If I didn't follow the meal plan and do what I had to do, gestational diabetes could have caused him to be larger than he should have been. So yeah, he was a nice, healthy little boy besides the jaundice and, having the blood sugar problems. And then after I took him home, he was fine, and he's been fine ever since. So I think that's it for my birth story. Let me see. Birth story. Nosebleed. I ain't gonna talk about that other part, the little embarrassing part that I don't know if y'all know when y'all push and then some other things can happen. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. It starts with an H. But yeah, that I feel like that's the most part of my pregnancy, well, my birth story. It was pretty like normal. I don't think nothing too crazy happened besides the water breaking, the bleeding. But the birth was real. The birth was real. Having to get sewn up because I ripped or tore while I was trying to push. And I guess that's normal. Tell me if that's normal for y'all too. Give me some dialogue. Let me know how y'all felt. Like, have y'all experienced the same that I experienced? But yeah, that's the birth part. So I think that's it. It was pretty cool. pregnancy was pretty okay, normal. I mean, who has like no, like just perfect pregnancy? Like, I'm fine. I didn't feel anything. Nope, I wasn't sick. I wasn't in pain. I could sleep. Oh, pregnancy. Sleep was not existent. I had a pillow, everything. Sleep was not existent. But that's normal stuff for pregnancy and stuff like that. And nothing went too crazy through birth. What was expected, possibly. But yeah, I feel like I did really good giving birth. I can't really tell my son when he gets older, I went through 24 hours of labor. Ooh, the women that go through labor, that's like in labor, because of course I did natural because I had no choice. But if I had a choice, I was going to get epidural. But the women that didn't do epidural, like they really did a natural birth and they was in labor for hours in the hospital before they gave birth. Ooh, y'all are amazing. Like amazing. Y'all are for real superwoman with superpowers, because the little short hour or two that I experienced of contractions, y'all experienced for hours. Y'all look just amazing. Y'all are just amazing. Like that's it. There's nothing else I can. Y'all are strong. Like, men need to understand, if your wife or your significant other, your child's mother, did a natural birth in general, because even with epidural, like, you still gotta go through stuff, side effects and things that happen. So women that have children and give birth in general, and all the twists and turns that can happen during birth, y'all are amazing. I, of course, had a newfound respect for women with children after I gave birth, because you don't experience it when you don't have children. You can only imagine. But now I know how I felt during birth and pregnancy now, and I also know it could be worse or it could be different. It's just different experiences through pregnancy and birth. I just have a newfound respect, and like, women are amazing. That's all I could say, is women are amazing. And yeah, that's how I feel, period. Nobody could tell me different. None of these men could top what we do, period. What Steve Harvey say? What she bring to the table? She give birth to your babies. Like, she can make another you. That's what he said. She can make another you. We out here making men and women. Say no more. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Last but not least, postpartum. How was postpartum? Would I say postpartum was the worst? I can't even say that. I don't know. Postpartum was another beast. It was another beast. It was another part. Like, you go through pregnancy, birth, and then postpartum. And like, these are different levels. Like, postpartum for me, fighting depression, fighting postpartum anxiety, depression, more mommy guilt, definitely was a struggle. And then on top of that, I already told you all that I don't have family here. So like, I was during pregnancy lonely. I felt even more lonely. My mom was here when she came. I think she came the day he was born. No, she was supposed to come Saturday. So he was born Friday. She thought he was gonna wait because she was supposed to be here up until I gave birth. But he came early, so she came Saturday. She was there, so that was cool. For her being there when the times when we were like switching out and we were tired during that newborn stage, the first week, 2 weeks, those are real too, because trying to like sitting there trying to basically get sleep, eat, bathe with a newborn is another level. And we're tired, exhausted, like, oh my God, breastfeeding was a lot for me. I only breastfed for like 3 months, probably 4 months. It was a lot for me. Breastfeeding is a no joke. Like, Another thing, women that breastfed the whole entire first 2 years of their child's life or the first 6 months. Ooh, kudos to you, because that was a lot. So breastfeeding was a lot. Um, then 6 weeks after having a child, going back to work was a lot. Being a new mom and just learning and making mistakes, and it was a lot to try to balance it all. And your body changing, your body's not the same as it was before, and all of that. But it's like you're dealing with all of that, but at the same time you look at this beautiful baby. Like, that was the best part of postpartum, like keeping me sane, is this beautiful baby boy that I went through all of this, and I'm going through all of this, but he changed my day every single day. Like, tired, but I heard this little coo, this little scrunch, the skin that just gave me so much life, just pushed me through. But I'll be lying if I would say that postpartum wasn't a struggle. Postpartum, I was very emotional. Like, just your body's out of whack and you're trying to get back into the game. Like, you trying to get your body back to what it was. So you can't escape it. It's the hormones, it's things, so much things change. You cannot escape it. But when you're in it, sometimes you don't even realize it's happening. I don't realize that I'm being OD emotional. I'm not understanding why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, not liking what I don't like, do like. It was a lot for postpartum. It's definitely on a level of pregnancy and birth. Like, they're different parts, but it's like the level is just like, whoa, it's just different. Like, it's just all three of those things: pregnancy, birth, and postpartums. Those are very, very big, important parts that you have to be gentle with women when they are going through all three of those stages. You have to be gentle, understanding, and you will not understand until you go through it. But try to put yourself in their shoes and our shoes, that we can't help what's going on with our body. Like, it has to happen to bring life into the world. Our body has to make these changes to bring up a human being that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? We have to go through these changes. So just understanding that, I feel like I understood that after the fact. 'Cause in it, I didn't understand it. I kind of understood that, okay, because I watch a lot of videos. I know this is what happens, but I'm in it and I'm just like, wow, like, it was not lying. Like, they was not lying to me. This really happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really are fighting for your life. Well, let me go back to fighting for your life, because pregnancy is a big deal. Well, no, giving birth is a big deal, because you are fighting for life. You are, what do they say? You are taking a big risk on your life when you're giving birth. That's heavy. Giving birth is the most body straining. It's a very, you're gambling your life when you give birth, and that's deep. That's really deep when they say that. Like, anything could happen giving birth. That's life or death, bringing a child into the world. And I don't feel like people understand that bearing children is a life or death thing, period. So anyways, back to postpartum. It was a lot. It was a struggle. It was rewarding. It was amazing. And I, to this day, appreciate what I went through, and it made me the mother I am now. And now I get to enjoy being a mother. I've been enjoying being a mother, but it's just so crazy to look back and really listen to myself tell this story. It's like, I started from here. Like, really? Started from here? Wow. Wow, it took all of this to get this amazing little boy. It was worth everything. I wouldn't do it over. I wouldn't change anything about my pregnancy. I don't think there's anything I could have done different. period. Nothing I could have done different or whatever, and I wouldn't take away anything. I want to experience everything I experienced because it was supposed to happen. And creating the person I created, and seeing the work, and seeing my son walk around and be so smart and so sweet, and just, you could tell he's just a amazing little boy. I wouldn't take anything from that. And yeah, that's how postpartum was. I think that's it. I don't want to go into detail because I could get into the tea. If y'all want me to talk about, like, break down anything that I've talked about in detail, let me know. But I could get deep into how I felt emotional wise or physically and stuff like that. But I'm going to keep this cute and short, like I said at the beginning of the video. And I feel like I haven't kept this short. But, I mean, you know, I just got to go with how I feel and what I feel like I should be, you know, putting out there and not holding back. So, yeah, that's postpartum. So, we've come to the end of this video. I don't have any more questions. I can't think of anything else that I did not go over or express or explain or anything like that. I feel like I got into enough. And yeah, I didn't get emotional. I got through this video without getting emotional. But yeah, I just wanted to give that little story time because it was appropriate. It's Mother's Day weekend. It's appropriate. And I wanted to tell my story and y'all to get a chance to, and, you know, increments, little bits and pieces. I'm not going to do a whole sit down, my life beginning to the end, but as time goes on, you will learn more about me. Now you know my story as a mother. And if it is a video you want me to talk about, or a topic, or if you do want me to do a Q&A for beginnings to end about my life, I may could give you that. But until then, I'm going to give you bits and pieces when I feel it fit, when it feels right. Like, it felt right. It felt right to tell this story on Mother's Day weekend. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Come back, like, comment, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. I enjoyed the sit down and I hope you enjoyed it with me. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Happy Mother's Day to all of the women that are being the best versions of themselves and doing what they got to do for their kids. Y'all enjoy your weekend. I got options, and I don't wanna tell you